Well, after the disappointment that was match week 9, we need to get into this match week
Whoa,
10 as
whoa,
quick.
whoa, 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 whoa. If it's after match week 9, that means it's time for the feels, baby. This is Red Card Radio.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever you're tuning in. Thanks for listening. Red Card Radio is a weekly emotion podcast. We help you with your feelings and how to communicate your feelings to other people about how you're feeling. My name is James, and I'm feeling a bit blue. That's Brad somewhere around here doing something.
I haven't been on the fields yet. I don't know how I'm supposed to act. I'm supposed to be different.
No,
Like,
we just get in the feels, see how it feels.
I'm vibing with the feels.
And down below that, Sean, he is the progenitor of feels.
Yeah, well, I don't know what that word means, and since I don't know what it means, I'm going to take it as disrespect. But as the proprietor of the feels episode, I'd like to kick us off.
Let's do it, brother.
Go ahead.
With something probably unsurprising in the feels. Tottenham don't feel like top of the table.
Oh, really?
Whoa.
Doesn't feel like they should be there. Maybe top 4, maybe. But
who do you feel like should be top of the table right now?
it feels like Liverpool. It's their year.
So I don't disagree with you. Liverpool are real sneaky. Liverpool real sneaky this year so far.
They're just snaking their way around fourth. Nobody's paying attention. No chatter. Klopp's not arguing with anybody.
What do you call Klopp? You call him like a llama?
Llama. He looks like a llama.
Are llamas real sneaky?
I don't know. They spit.
I don't think so.
I don't think
I wouldn't call a llama sneaky.
Things is very sneaky.
So that's even better. They're like a sneaky llama, which is like an
The only
albatross.
llama I have real familiarity with is Cusco from Emperor's New Groove. So that's not a really good representation of llamas.
What about Llama in the red pajamas?
No, not familiar with that one.
Llama needs to stop calling for Mama in his red pajamas.
I'm not familiar with this llama.
I bet Brad and I are more familiar with that llama than
Very
you
much familiar.
Well, you guys should be introducing your kids to a Cusco from Emperor's New Groove. It's a great movie.
Oh, we will. Don't worry. That is on the list.
So I kicked this off. What feels you got, Brad? Who feels out of place, good or bad?
I feel like Villa is too high. They don't
really.
Yes, not very. Not. I don't think they're shooting way above their weight class, but I don't feel like they're a Champions League club.
4 points off the lead.
For real?
I mean,
yeah.
What part of
I'm not saying that they don't deserve Europe.
Were you here for trivia last episode or?
My feels aren't about Europe. My feels are about Champions League.
Okay, so who do you feel should be in that spot and not Aston Villa?
We're gonna say it's Newcastle, right?
He's gonna say it's Chelsea. Because he's a troll bear.
I set myself up for that one.
You did. You totally did. No, I think Brighton deserve that spot right now more than Villa.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was gonna say. I'm glad you said that. Brighton feel like they should be higher. I mean, I had them beating City. I had them battering City.
You had with the whole chest, Matt. Like you put your feels all out there about Brighton.
And I was wrong, but it happens. I was less wrong than James. So
it's statistically and legally incorrect.
And
I got two feelings for you.
Okay.
My biggest feeling is obviously about Arsenal. Last year, I felt like Arsenal were going to win the league. Yeah. And that was like a hope. That was like a pipe dream. That was like a pie in the sky feeling.
Yeah.
I feel like Arsenal are going to win the league.
Uh-oh.
And this is not hopium. This is belief. This is rational. This is rational. And let me tell you why it's rational. Because Arsenal aren't playing well. And we're still right there. Last year, Arsenal were playing about as well as they possibly could be. And they were there. in and about it. Right now, we're not playing at our fullest potential, and we're still right there. So,
And
what
you
happens?
still haven't lost.
What happens when we do start playing well? I will point this out to you, Brad. Apparently, I saw this. This is one of those written in the stars moments.
Oh yeah.
These are two written in the stars moments that I found about Arsenal this year.
Somebody's writing in the stars here, and it's not me.
So
This is a Feels episode.
Arsenal,
episode.
Arsenal
Great
in
episode
Arsenal in match week 2 of the Champions League lost to the French team Lens, right?
Yes.
The last time Lens were in the Champions League, they lost. No, excuse me. They beat a team at home in the Champions League in the group stage. The team that they beat at home in the group stage that eventually went on to win the Champions League was AC Milan that year. And so, by transitive property of Brad's
Stars.
written in the stars, by the transitive property of stars, Arsenal are going to win the Champions League.
Here. This doesn't sound like
Arsenal.
Okay.
Arsenal are going to win the Champions League.
Okay, I'll give you that's a star.
That those are
I don't
the
know
stars.
if it's letters yet, but okay.
My next one is I don't know if I'm nailing this one exactly correct because I don't read the stars like Brad does.
I think I know the stars. I think I know these stars. I saw these stars too.
I think my understanding is that that Arsenal, when they were invincible, started the season 6-2-0 with 16 goals for and only 6 goals against. And before this match week, before the Chelsea game, they had played 8 games. They had won 6. They had drawn 2. They had scored 16 goals, and they had conceded only 6 goals. Ergo, by the transitive property of stars, Arsenal are invincibles again.
If you're going to bring out the stars,
that's a better stars there. That's the stars that we were waiting for. I got a question. Does anybody feel
no.
Like Chelsea is the 10th place team, or do we feel like they're higher up?
It feels
right.
That feels right.
You're both lying.
You want to how?
That's okay.
No, you haven't been good.
That's okay.
So okay.
I'll see. Wait. Yesterday's episode, somebody said, "I don't want to play Chelsea right now."
That's true.
I want to play Chelsea in 2 weeks.
I want to play
The
Chelsea.
10th place team. Why don't you want to play the 10th place team in 2 weeks, Sean?
I want to play Chelsea again next weekend. Give me Chelsea every weekend.
Are you familiar with Tottenham Hotspurs? We always lose to the 10th place team, so that's exactly something we would do.
Oh, okay, sure.
I got a couple of feels that feel out of place on the low end. They feel lower than they should be.
Is one of them Brentford? Because that was going to be my second feels. That was my second feels.
All right, so then I'll take the other one. So you take Brentford.
Yeah, Brentford.
Nottingham Forest have been a absolute tough out, and when I scrolled my eyeballs down the table, to see them 15th was a little surprising to me. They feel harder than that. They feel harder to get out.
It's kind of an interesting table because, like, where do they have to go? Like, if you think about the teams that are ahead of like the Nottingham Forest and the Brentfords, obviously, maybe you would pick off Fulham, Wolves, Crystal Palace, maybe West Ham. Maybe West Ham's the only other team. Those 4 teams are maybe the only other 4 of Brentford that you would expect Brentford to be above. I don't think you expect Nottingham Forest to be above West Ham. Maybe Wolves, but Fulham last year. No, maybe Fulham this year. Fulham have lost a lot this year as compared to last year. So they were poised to regress a little bit. But if you look at the rest,
no more.
If you look at 8 up in the Premier League table and then throw in a Chelsea, who are in 10th. You would expect,
that's pretty set.
You would expect them, all those teams, to be above the Brentford, above the Nottingham Forest. So, like, is this just a stacked top 10 in the Premier League?
Yeah,
I think it is.
Yeah, it's pretty deep, and we didn't mention it on the review episode, but I think I texted the group that Chris Wood puts Nottingham up 2-0 at home. And you're like I texted the group. I said, "Well, this is as Nottingham Forest. This is why you go get Chris Wood.
Mm-hmm.
This is you don't want to be battling out at 17 or 18. You get Chris Wood to put you 12th, 13th, 11th, 10th. Like that's why you go get him.
Yeah.
And then he did it, and then they fumbled it. I mean, they ended up giving away 2 goals at the end of the game by a heck of a game. If you guys didn't catch that, Luton Nottingham was an excellent game.
Yeah.
But
where I agree with your feels.
okay.
I
You got somebody?
disagree that you bring Chris Wood in to Chris Wood's you bring in the striker dude to get you
The striker.
12, 11, 10th. He's meant to get you right outside of that relegation zone. That's what he's
I
there
don't
to
know,
do.
man.
Is to get you just enough goals to be outside that relegation zone.
I did say that he banged goals at Burnley, he banged goals at Newcastle, and he's banging goals at
He didn't
Nottingham.
bang goals
And
at Newcastle, bro.
Joel corrected me with the quickness of he absolutely did not
He did
bang
nothing.
goals at Newcastle.
Yes. He was bought because Caleb Wilson was injured. Now, if you want to be a top 12 team, you get somebody like Caleb Wilson to be your number 1 striker.
You think Callum Wilson is a top 12? I don't think Joel
Newcastle
might,
doesn't even use him as a top.
Joel might disagree
striker.
with me, but I don't rate Callum Wilson.
But what
He's
I'm saying
never
is
healthy.
that like he's much more of a mid-table striker.
Maybe if he could
Forrest
stay
has.
healthy, maybe. Do any of you guys have any parting feels before we quickly take a look at match week 10?
I don't know. What do we think about the bottom 3? Is that about right?
I mean, look, I would be that would make me very excited if Luton Town stays up for a year. So I'm in for these bottom 3 to stay. I like it.
Yeah. James, you?
I feel like I feel like I don't feel like I don't have one of those teams getting relegated. I think Luton Town and Bournemouth are swapped for me, and maybe Burnley. I can't remember who I said was getting relegated, but if we look at like their value, then yeah, it looks about right. Can I just point out about Sheffield United? Didn't they get dumpster relegated the last time they were in the Premier League? Like relegated in like January or February, like record
low points. Yeah.
No, not quite Derby County, but close.
Yeah,
they might hit Derby County this year.
Like they are dreadful. They are.
This is why I want there to be a rule instated that Sheffield United is never allowed back into the Premier League. Ever. The only Sheffield team that's allowed to come back into the Premier League is Wednesday.
You know what's funny about Sheffield United is that they should have beaten Tottenham.
They should have beaten Tottenham. They should have beaten Tottenham. And thus, that is the history of Tottenham. That is football heritage.
All right. Get your feels down in the comment. Let us know how you're feeling about this first 9 games in the Premier League.
Jimmy's probably going to have something to say about my feels.
We know Jimmy's feels are going to come in strong.
Jimmy always has.
He was ready for the feels like 2 weeks ago, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Jimmy, we're expecting some feels.
That was fun. I tell you what wasn't fun was looking at this table and thinking, well, yeah, everything's about where it should be. Like maybe a couple points, like maybe a couple spots off for like Tottenham and like Newcastle, I feel like are going to be a little bit higher, but everybody's generally where they should be. So that was tough for me to find like the really out of place people like we had last year.
Yeah. You'll forgive me for asking this, but how do you feel about Crystal Palace this weekend? The boogeyman going to the boogeyman.
Yeah, it's never fun to go down to Selhurst for us to cross the Thames.
I mean, but you got Big Ange is cooking though.
He is cooking. Let me tell you a story about Tottenham.
Tell us.
The complete, absolute banana peel games were Luton after Liverpool and Fulham after the international break. And we won both of them.
Yeah.
And that's not very Spursy. So, so maybe I don't have cause for apprehension, but I still have it. So
fair.
We'll see. We'll see.
What about this? So I have highlighted. I personally picked this one, the West Ham United Everton game. This feels like a perennial kind of like old school, like solid English Premier League football match between West Ham and Everton. Everton are obviously dreadful right now. they've got nothing. Nothing's going well for them. And West Ham are surprisingly looking pretty good. They ran up against a tough opponent last weekend and didn't get the result that they wanted. I mean, Aston Villa is a tough play for anyone at this point, but they've been pretty good, all things considered, so far this season. How do we do we think that Everton stand a chance in this match? Is this a game where it's attainable for them, perhaps?
I'm interested to see what West Ham does with the ball.
Right? Yeah.
Like that's because who's going to have the ball for this game? Because Everton doesn't keep the ball. West Ham, at their best, don't keep the ball.
I mean, they would prefer to be hitting you on the counter. Yeah.
Right. So can they create the chances that they're going to need to beat Everton?
Who's going to be better at giving away the ball so they can play defense? Is that what you're asking?
No, who's going to be better at giving away the ball so that you can then win the ball back and be on a counterattack?
Yes. You pass the ball to them, then take it from them.
Yeah.
It's just going to be two teams passing it to each other.
there's an SNL skit there somewhere. Maybe not SNL because SNL's not funny, but maybe a funny version of SNL.
Okay, well that's a hot take.
Okay, I'm in my feels. SNL hasn't been funny for like 15 years.
Wow. Chief marketing engineer is not going to like that.
Well, maybe she could market some funny people to get on SNL.
Dang. Wow. I don't know how we got on SNL, but should we bring this back to the Manchester Derby?
Probably.
Clearly, we will not be sponsored by NBC or Peacock at any point in our career.
Good, because I've got a Buffalo Wild Wings bone to pick with NBC in the way they present the Premier League. So
okay,
Rebecca Lowe, you give me a call and I can complain to you about how NBC used to be the crown jewel in broadcasting of Premier League, and now they are just as bad as everyone else. Maybe not as bad as it is in England, because England is dreadful.
Yeah.
As well.
Apparently, they're fixing that after the 25 season.
All right. So you said Manchester Derby.
Yes.
This one, I want it to be interesting. Like, I want United to be relevant in this match.
No, we don't.
They're just going to get destroyed. So
the battle of the balds goes to the blue team in this situation.
I want you to just in your brain circle back to 2 weeks ago when Arsenal played Manchester City, and Erling Haaland had to go up against Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba, like two super stout central defenders, center backs, big boys. Didn't give Haaland a lick of space. How many like Harry Maguire?
Ten Hag has been singing his praises.
He was man of the match last match, according to the Premier League.
Yeah.
This dude is going to get
crazy as Saka being man of the match.
He's going to get eaten alive by Haaland.
Yeah.
He's going to get subbed like 40 minutes into the game.
So here's the question, right? If you're Ten Hag and Sir Jimmy Boy is coming in, are you worried?
I mean, you kind of always have to be worried when new ownership comes in, because the owner's going to want to get their guy. The owner's going to want to get their guy. Look what happened to Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel won everything for Chelsea, and he got sacked.
He is not the new owner. He has a minority stake if it's approved.
With controlling options, though.
Yeah, with sporting control.
I'm with you.
Who cares how much ownership stake he has? He's got sporting control.
Okay, but what kind of sporting control do you have if you don't control the purse strings? That's my question. I don't know. Hey, we want to go buy Mbappe. Oh, here's 50 mil. Because we want all the money for ourselves. That doesn't sound like that sounds like the Glazers, doesn't it? I don't know. I mean, if you get rid of Ten Hag, like we've said, who do you go get?
Apparently Graham Potter.
Yeah, I was gonna say apparently Graham Potter, because they really liked him at Nice. He wanted him at Nice, which is the other club Sir Jim Foley owns, or Ineos owns, whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know if they lose this. Like, Are we talking Ten Hag on the hot seat?
No. Because Manchester United have invested way too much money in players for Erik ten Hag. They've spent hundreds of millions of pounds on players for Erik ten Hag.
And they're still not good.
And
so what? I disagree because they spent millions of pounds, well, almost millions of pounds for Jose. They spent money with every manager. They've bought players for every single manager that's come through there.
Sean, I want you to put a bookmark in this thought process that Brad's presenting to us in 6 months when he is just like, yeah, well, they didn't spend this money for Pochettino. This is a Thomas Tuchel signing.
That's a lie.
This is a Graham Potter signing. It's just not working out for whatever reason. Like Enzo and Mudryk, they're just not working out because they're not Pochettino signings or whoever it is. I just use them as examples. But like players being signed for a manager, that's a thing.
I don't disagree. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they have spent the money for whoever the manager wants.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that if you ask Manchester United fans right now, Manchester United fans are complaining that they don't have the money to spend on players because they've spent too much money, is what United fans complain about the Glazers. So if you're going to sack a manager and then have a history of spending hundreds of millions of pounds for Ten Hag players, and those Ten Hag players are trash, Antony, Onana, right? Like Casemiro,
Antony,
who's 47 years old, and you go get Graham Potter. Well, Graham Potter's super affable, but say you got Zidane or something like that. Zidane's gonna expect the same level of support, right? So any top tier manager is gonna expect the same level of support that the other guys got.
I would retort Brad's point with how many Big Ange signings are there that were specifically for him that quantitatively you can point to.
I think every first team signing this summer.
I don't think a single one.
Do you sign James Maddison because he's a Big Ange player, or did you sign him because he's a really good central midfielder?
The second.
You didn't sign it. You didn't sign him for Postecoglou. Maybe Van de Ven. Van de Ven's the only one I can really say, he's the only one that's voiced that the only reason he picked Tottenham was because he came in and had a conversation with Ange.
But that's not quite the same. Like if you look at the Ten Hag signings, those are all guys that played for him.
Antony
played in the Eredivisie.
Oh yeah.
Those are all his dudes. So
yeah. There's no signing. There's no player on our club that is specifically for Ange.
Yeah.
And maybe Van de Ven. Maybe Van de Ven's the one where you would say, all right, well that fits his style. That's exactly what he wanted. And he conveyed that to the player, which convinced him to come. I can see that one, but he didn't sign Romero.
No,
he didn't sign Porro. He didn't sign Kulusevski. He didn't sign Son. He didn't sign any of them. Name them. Bazuma. That wasn't his signing. Sarr. It's not his signing.
Dogi, not a signing.
Yeah. No, it was all under Conte and previous managers. So that's the only reason I'll push back is if your manager has stuff figured out, it doesn't matter what players. At our level, at our club level, we have talent on the roster. How can you mold it? So Ten Hag doesn't have an excuse. You have talent on your roster. Mold it.
I think that just speaks to, and I'm going to say this, that Tottenham are a better run club than Manchester United. At least
not hard to say.
Whoa.
That's not hard to say. I think we all would agree.
If you said any other club than Manchester United, I would probably disagree with you. But
yes,
as far as poorly run clubs, I think if you were setting a table, I think we are battling relegation with United.
Is this an international table? Because I've got some honorable mentions from Spain and Italy that I'd like to throw in there in terms of poorly managed clubs. But
it seems like Italian owners just buy a club and they're like, look how wealthy I am, and just party. They seem aloof.
You want to talk about a poorly run club? Talk about selling off your image rights and your TV rights for 40 years. And
Barcelona,
yeah, this has got to be a case study in one of the worst run football clubs in the world.
Yes, for a financial lever for one season,
bro. they sold Neymar for 222 million euros to PSG. PSG wrote a check for 222 million euros and deposited it at the La Liga office for Barcelona to put into their
Neymar brought
checking
it there.
account. Yeah, Neymar walked it in.
In cash.
It was a check. It was not cash, Brad. You don't. Nobody accepts.
I thought he had the bags.
No, they had
this is not a movie.
It's a cashier's check. That's how these things work. It was probably actually just like a statement that said we're wiring the money. If I wouldn't be surprised, but like, and now they're like selling now they're just financially destitute. Like this is such a poorly run club. Having to do weird accounting tricks with Juventus for players, selling a player for the same amount that you're buying a player for when neither one of their values are anywhere near what they're supposed to be. Like,
Brad, this is why we hate on Chelsea, because James and I have been in net spend hell for the last 15 years.
True.
Along with Liverpool, I'll lump Jimmy and Tammy into this too. Along with Liverpool, we are net spend FC, the three of us, and it is infuriating to watch you spend $1 billion in 18 months and you're still not happy with your squad.
Hey, look. I agree with you these past 18 months, but before that, our books were pretty balanced, and even still, we still sold off. We made $200-300 million this summer.
It's infuriating.
You just don't understand. You just don't understand.
You're right. I don't.
And especially
I went from Russian owned to American owned. I went from Russian oil to American money. Let's go.
Like the part that's even worse for me long term is that like when Arsenal moved into the Emirates, like we were in it was such a different world compared to what Tottenham did when Tottenham moved into the new White Hart Lane. That's like there's like extra revenue streams for Tottenham at the football stadium. Like that stuff just didn't exist for Arsenal when we built the Emirates.
We're still net spend FC.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and
we were net. We were have to drop we were sell our best players to be profitable, like to stay alive FC. And somehow we still made the Champions League for 25 straight years, and we're competitive in the league. Arsene Wenger is we're gonna look back at Arsene Wenger and be like, this dude was a miracle worker. I mean, we already do think that.
Yeah, I think I think we all agree with you on that.
The dude's a miracle worker. What he did with that club, with those finances at that time, was unbelievable.
And there's rumors we're gonna spend more money and get bring over Victor Osimhen. He's apparently we're in pole position again.
Are you guys just in pole position because you have like what is it, like you have like a slot machine and you just like write checks? Like is that the only reason why you're in? But why would anyone? Whatever. It is what it is. I mean, I don't think Arsenal are going to sign him, so it's fine. But
you only have, I don't know, 2 or 3 young strikers that he's going to come in and play. Like, what do you do? Like, what are you doing with Brocha, Jackson, and Cuckoo? Like,
and Cuckoo's not a striker.
Okay, well, he plays centrally forwardly.
This is a good point.
So like, what would you call that?
What do you do with Jackson, who you swear by?
I don't know.
What are you doing with Brocha?
I don't know. Yeah. It's not my choice. I don't know. Potch headaches, not my headaches.
Jesus.
All right.
I don't know.
That feels like a mistake to me, but that feels like a very Chelsea thing to do. All right.
You put Broja into Tottenham's lineup. He's banging 15 a year.
Bro, is that what we said about Richarlison too? I mean, Broja is a better player than Richarlison. But
I never said Richarlison was going to be a great player at Tottenham. I said we signed him to be the 4th out of a top 3. Like
I think you were excited. I think you purported that he was a better signing than Gabriel Jesus, right?
I did, and it's been proven to not be true, but that's okay.
Yo, I was really concerned you were going to say it's been proven to be true. I was real concerned for a second. All right.
He was trying to get himself to say that.
We didn't sign him to be Harry Kane. We signed him to be the first off the bench. Like, that was the exciting part. Is Tottenham actually signing depth?
Boys,
that was the exciting part.
Boys, it feels like we're in the weeds.
It does. Right. It feels like we need to wrap this up and tell people to what's our game of the week?
Game of the week, which you certainly shouldn't want to miss, is obviously Bournemouth and Burnley.
Yes, the 18-pointer.
I hate you so much, Brad. Hit us up on Twitter or X. That guy over there is at KSBradG. Down below is at Whiteheart_Sean. I'm at James Tiffany, collectively at redcard_radio. You can reach us anytime on the socials, info.redcardradio@gmail.com, Buffalo Wild Wings, so you can finally officially sponsor the Bone to Pick segment. And we'll do it every week. Sean can be mad about anything at any time. He's really good
Absolutely.
at it. So.
Absolutely.
Until next time, we'll be back next week to break. Well, some number of us will be back next week. I might not be here. We'll see. But yeah, that's it. We will see you all soon. Have a good one.